Hello, we're back again and we're going to be working with Microsoft Word 2016 and in Module 4, which is Formatting Documents. And we're going to begin on page Word 78. We're going to need to use from our data files WD4-1. So I already have that open. So if you need to find that, go ahead and go to that location and find that document. We're going to save this as WD space / travel health to go. So we'll do that right now. Okay, next we want to take and scroll through the document, and we're going to take a look, and we can see it has some images in it, some formatting, and it's 5 pages long. We're going to use Control Home to move back to the beginning of our document. We're going to next go to the Layout tab. Then we will go to Margins, and we're going to move all the way down to the bottom, and following the steps in step 4, we're going to choose Custom Margins, and we're going to change the top, bottom, left, and right margins. So you can do that by using the arrows. In this case, they want us to go to 0.7. You can tab over to the next item, which is the bottom margin, and you can actually type it in as well. So that's got to be 0.7, and the left has got to be 0.7, and then we need to make the right be 0.7. And you can also see there's some other options on this page as far as page setup, such as changing from portrait to landscape, and changing the format from the preview from this point forward or for the whole document. In this case, we're leaving it at whole document. We'll say OK. We're going to go to the View tab, and we're going to take and look at under the Zoom group, multiple pages, and then we're going to scroll through and see, yes, that's what that looks like. And then we're going to use Control Home to move back to the beginning of the document, and we're going to use the 100% zoom in the Zoom group to go back to one page. We're going to save our changes and move to the next page to work. Check out your figures to make sure you're on the right page with your work. Okay, we're on page Word 80, and we're going to check out the status bar, which is down at the bottom, and you can use the status bar to give you information about what you're doing in real time. For example, I can tell that we're in page 1 of 5. It tells you which line we're at, how many words in this document, and what is the current page we're working on right now. So they want us to make some changes to that. So we're going to right click on the status bar, and what they want us to do is check and see if we have sections selected, and I already do have that selected, but if you don't have it selected, go ahead and check that so you can keep up with which section you are in this document. So then you can click off of it to close it out. We're going to go to the Home tab, and we're going to turn on the Show Hide in the paragraph group with the Show Hide button. We're going to place the insertion point before the heading General Considerations. So here's the General Considerations heading. We're going to put the pointer in front of General Consideration, and we're going to click on the Layout tab, and we're going to look at the Break button, and we need to, for step 4, move down and choose Continuous. And then we're going to select the Columns button. on the page setup group. So here's the columns, and in this case we're going to choose more columns. So let's talk about that for a few minutes while we have this open. Notice it's very important that we have the pointer placed in front of the G, because we're going to actually be inserting a break in the page. In this case it's a section break, and we've just put in a section break, and we're getting ready to add some columns, so we're going to actually change the format on that page. So we want to make sure we in the correct location. So we're going to choose more columns, and then we're going to select 2. So we're going to have 2 columns, and we're going to look at the spacing, and we're going to move down from our spacing from 0.5 to 0.3. Then we're going to say OK, and we're going to notice what happens. Okay, so now we have 2 columns, but you notice that the top part of the document is in a continuous one-page format. Okay, we're going to select now the View tab, and we're going to look at multiple pages again so we can see how that looks. And we're going to scroll down and see how that looks. So we now have 4 pages, and it's in 2 columns. We're going to use Control Home and then save our work. So we're going to come back over to our Save button on our Quick Access toolbar. And we're going to double check our results over in the figures and move to the next page to work, which is Word 82. Okay, we're on top of page Word 82 at step 1, and we're going to use the 100% zoom in the zoom group under View tab. Okay, we're back to one page, and we're going to now put our insertion point just before the heading Malaria, a serious, here it is, a serious health risk for travelers. So we want to put our pointer directly in front of that M in malaria, and we're going to select the Layout tab, and then we're going to click the Breaks button, and this time we're going to choose Page. So this actually inserts a page break and throws the rest of the document to the next page. We're going to scroll down and place the insertion point just before the heading Preventive Options. Okay, so here we are just before we have preventive options, and then we're going to press Control and Enter, which is we're going to have a manual page break introduced here. So Control and Enter keys at the same time will introduce a new page break. Okay. Next we need to move down to page 3 and put an insertion point before the heading Insurance for Travelers. And then we're going to use Control and Enter to add another page break. We're going to scroll up and click to the left of the page break on page 2. So we're going to move back up to page 2. Just to the left of the page break, and then we're going to press the Delete key, which got rid of the page break. We're going to also remove this paragraph mark. Okay, so this is the way it should look. Okay, next we're going to add another page break. We're going to actually put our pointer just in front of the M in medical kit and personal items, and we're going to use Control and Enter. It's going to throw in another page break. For step 7, we're going to choose the View tab, and then we're going to look at multiple pages. And now we have 4 pages. Okay, we want to save our changes. We're going to check out the figures on the opposite page, and then we're going to move to the next page, which is Word 84. We're going to use the Control Home keys to go back to the beginning of the document. We're going to then choose the 100% button on the Zoom group on the View tab. We're going to go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, and then we're going to click on the Page Number button. And we're going to find the bottom of the page option, and then we're going to find plain number 2. So that's this one, and we're going to choose it. We're going to double click inside of the document to close out the header footer. So you see it's open. We're going to click in the document, and that closes out the header footer. We're going to scroll down the document to see if the page numbers are showing up at the bottom of the page, and they are. We're going to use the Control Home keys to move back to the beginning of the document, and we're going to save our work. We're going to check out the figures on the opposite page, and we're going to be moving to page Word 86. Okay, now we're going to work in header and footer again. Okay, remember where that is? Okay, we're going to go to the Insert tab, and we're going to find the header and footer. So under the header button in the header and footer group, we're going to scroll down the options for headers, and we're going to choose the blank. We're going to type in reason to go health information for travelers. Okay, we need to select the header text, but we do not want to select the paragraph mark. And we're going to change that font. In this case, they're asking us to go to the Home tab to do that. So we're going to go to the Home tab, and we're going to change it to Berlin Sans FB Demi. And that's the font type. Then we're going to change the font color, and we're going to choose blue accent 5. So blue accent 5 for the color, and then we're going to choose the center button, and then we're going to choose a bottom border, then we're going to click the header footer tool design tab. So here we are, header footer design tab. We're going to go to the footer, so we're in the header, so we're going to go under navigation, we're going to go to the footer, and we're going to format the page number that's at the bottom. We're going to use the mini toolbar for that. We're going to remember, if it doesn't show up after you select it, you can right click and it will pop up. You're going to choose Berlin Sans, so it should be up in your frequently used. And then we're going to use blue. And remember, if we've last used it, it's going to be sitting in your font color, so we don't have to find that. And then we're going to close the header footer, and there are several ways you can do that. You can select the close header and footer button, or you can double click out in the text for the document. Either one of those will work. We're going to scroll down until the bottom of page 1 and see the text and see if it looks like it's been formatted, and yes, it has. We're going to stop here at step 7 on page 8.